Who's Who of comedy will board international flights bound for Riyadh for Saudi Arabia's massive comedy festival. Billed as the largest comedy festival in the world, the star-studded lineup includes the likes of Dave Chappelle, Tim Dillon, Bill Burr, Aziz Ansari, Whitney Cummings, Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, and a whole lot more where those came from. You got your right-wingers, you got your left-wingers, you got your relatively apolitical, all coming together in a shared appreciation for the shower of Saudi cash that lured them to this event in the first place. What about Saudi's imposed starvation of Yemen? What about their authoritarian speech suppression and vicious approach to dissent? What about the brutal murder and dismembering of Jamal Khashoggi, their rampant abuse of migrant workers, including allegations of human trafficking? Well, as Tim Dillon makes plain, the payouts were enough to get everyone to look the other way.
They're paying me $375,000 for one show. Now, a lot of other people are getting $1.6 million. That's not me. I'm not in that bracket. But they're giving me $375,000. Others are getting $150,000. Why are they doing it? Here's the point. Okay? I am doing this because they're paying me a large sum of money. They're paying me enough money to look the other way. Do you understand? Look the other way. That's a 4-word sentence that people don't do anymore. Look the other way. If something bad is happening to your left, look to your right. If, for example, I'm at a breakfast and I see someone get grabbed and they start hitting them with that, you know, that big stick. I don't know if it's bamboo or whatever it is. It's kind of a wood, but it kind of snaps back. It's perfect for a cane. If I see someone getting it, I will look the other way, okay? If I look the other way and I see someone being behanded, meaning they're chopping a hand off, that might be interesting to just kind of see actually how they do it, because I think they do it kind of a sanitary way. But from what I've heard, you know, if they're chopping a hand, I might look down. And if I'm looking at the floor and I see some eyeless beggar grabbing at me, trying to get my money, I will look up to the heavens. And if in the heavens I see a drone flying over, I will look the other way because I'm being paid enough money to look the other way. What don't you understand? What is so complicated? I'm the only honest person just going to do it. Everyone else is going to have $1 million. They're going to go, well, actually, the Middle East is more progressive now, and he's trying to make some change. No. I'm being paid a lot of money to not care about what they do in their country.
There you go. The Saudi Comedy Festival, of course, just the kingdom's latest effort in a long list of sports and cultural events where they have doled out tens or hundreds of millions of dollars so that people will do exactly what Tim suggests and look the other way. Probably their most discussed gambit from a U.S. perspective is the LIV Golf Tour, which came in as a direct competitor to the PGA Tour, bought off a bunch of the world's top players, partnered with Donald Trump to host events at his properties. We still don't know how much exactly the president is netting from his LIV Golf deal, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, the president, too, is being paid to look the other way on any Saudi doings that may conflict with American values or American interests. But there is, of course, so much more. The Saudis have made massive investments in soccer. They purchased an 80% stake in Premier League's Newcastle United. They spent lavishly to lure global soccer superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo and Neymar to Saudi clubs. They've hosted heavyweight boxing matches, regular WWE events. They back Formula One and Formula E, which is apparently electric car racing, esports, women's tennis, music festivals, including stars like Mariah Carey, Justin Bieber, and they've also lured artists for massive biennial art exhibitions. Now, some of these efforts by the Saudis to buy affection, they have been met with some protest, but none particularly significant or sustained enough to stop the stars involved from making the exact same calculus that Tim Dillon explained. Take the money, look the other way, assume the blowback will be minimal, and keep it moving. That bet has paid off for them every time, as best as I can tell. So this is where we are now, in whatever end state of capitalism we're in. Money's our god, the only end goal apparently that really matters, the only judge of merit or character, and with this false idol, we are witnessing a total and complete moral collapse. The comedians lining up to line their pockets are really just one very small example of it. I mean, it's barely worth mentioning in comparison to the decision to commit a full-on genocide and ethnic cleansing in order to secure beachfront property development rights. Increasingly, we're falling into an ideology of utter and complete nihilism. The sense of our nation as any sort of collective enterprise has been broken by decades of a neoliberal ideology that was so individualistic that many apparently forgot other human beings were even actual human beings at all and not just NPCs or non-playable characters. How else can you explain the muted reaction when a boat of human beings is blown out of the water by the world's most powerful military, or when Florida decides to end all childhood vaccine mandates, putting your right to be an anti-vax crank over the health of the community, especially children, especially the elderly and the vulnerable? When we all watch every single day as a genocide is live streamed in our feeds. It may be that the only ones really worthy of being called human at this point are the doctors and the aid workers who rush into Gaza, and the Palestinians themselves, who've somehow still maintained their humanity in the face of the greatest barbarism imaginable. By the way, Tim Dillon actually had something to say about this as well.
The niceties are gone. The pleasantries are gone. Israel's not disguising what they want to do. The motives are not. They don't matter. The narrative doesn't make sense. The stories don't add up. They do not care. They're not trying to make it make sense. They don't have the time. It's the last bit of control that they can exert over the system before it blows up. It's my guess. It's what it feels like. Nobody's putting the time in to lie to you anymore. You should worry about that. You should worry about the fact that nobody's even trying to make the lies good. They know it doesn't matter if you believe them. They're going to try to dispose of you. I'll be in Riyadh. I'll be in Riyadh where my bread is buttered. Go find where your bread is buttered. Go get your bread buttered. Go get your toast buttered. Go get your jelly. Go jelly your jam. Because the world is ending. But it's true, and it sounds rough.
Go get your bread buttered because the world is ending. Doesn't it actually feel like it captures a lot of the sentiment bubbling under the surface of our culture? When people talk endlessly about a vibe shift, is that the vibe? The world's ending and I don't believe anything, so I'm just gonna go get mine, or at least I'm gonna try. I'm gonna chase some crypto scam. I'm gonna lionize the scummiest people on the internet. I'm gonna embrace the basest of human pleasures, which is the sense of satisfaction that comes from watching someone in the out-group suffer. Is that the vibe we're talking about? After we were lied into the Iraq War and the economy collapsed and the banksters were rewarded and the effort at a collective renewal as represented by the Bernie campaign was snuffed down, is that what we're left with? Moral collapse, cash grabs, scammers, race to the bottom, and torture as a form of entertainment. And so a bunch of comedians with all sorts of supposed political ideologies, they're all going to go and they're going to get their bread buttered from a totalitarian monarchy that hacked a dissident journalist apart because the royal family did not like his Washington Post columns. There is another way. I know I'm laying too much at Zoran's feet here, but there is something that I genuinely find so special and hopeful about his campaign. It's the tiniest glimmer. The possibility of a renewed sense of a collective spirit, a glimmer of an expanded political vision that believes it is possible to make America's largest city workable for working people. 4,000, just think about this, extremely earnest people came out for a Sunday scavenger hunt for this campaign. Young people snapped out of their TikTok ennui to completely remake the electorate and shock the world. Or, for a more profound example, I would ask you to listen to Dr. Mohammed Mustafa, Palestinian refugee turned UK and Aussie citizen turned ER doctor who has gone twice to serve in Gaza.
It's like this bizarre thing because, Netanyahu at the start said, we are the children of light fighting the children of darkness. And I'm just like, the irony of it is it's the other way around. The irony, it's the other way around. It's those kids in Gaza that are the light. When you see those children, and I've seen them, when there's little food and, a child might have a plate of food and the other child is waiting in line and there's no more food left. And then that child who's hungry and emaciated starts scooping out food from his plate to put on that child's plate. When we had COVID over here, we had police officers guarding toilet paper because society had broken down. We were fighting over toilet paper. And yet you have starving children who are traumatized, who are sharing their food with each other.
Just think about that. In Gaza, their world may literally be ending right now. The most powerful country on the planet is trying to wipe out the evidence that they ever even existed. And still, they stubbornly refuse to become the animals that we have been told that they are. They are doing so much more for one another than just trying to get their own bread buttered. In other words, maybe, Tim Dillon, it's too soon to give up on the world. And Saagar, curious for your thoughts on a wide-ranging one there.
I hate to say it. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.